today is Graham Hill, the Managing Director of Premier African Minerals. Graham, good to be speaking to you. How are you?
I'm very well today, thank you, Mark. And yourself?
Yes, very good. Well, it's good to be speaking to you. Thank you for your time. It's you think you've been officially in the role now just over a week. So I wonder, first of all, how are things going? How have you found it?
Well, I'm back here. I'm on site still at Zulu. I've spent most of the last 2 months here, in all honesty. It's my new home. I'm quite comfortable here. I'm quite comfortable in the surroundings with the people around me and with the team we have here. So It's been a learning experience, a lot of learning done very quickly, but it's been a positive learning experience, and I'm very happy with what I see going on around me.
Good. Well, I know that shareholders are quite keen to sort of learn a bit about you, perhaps your experience, perhaps why you joined Prem and how you might communicate with shareholders, how you might change the leadership, or your plans to really build that project into the producing capacity that it can have. So, I mean, first of all, perhaps, can you just take us through your career and some of the key leadership roles you've had?
Oh, well, yeah. I started off with Anglo American Corporation as a junior engineer, working on the coal mines of all things. Probably not a bad place to start. I developed through there I became project manager for developing large open pit coal mines and specialist in building drag lines, for instance, and big mining equipment. Then I was transferred to Anglo American head office, and I got involved in mainly gold projects. In Mali, I did 2.5 gold projects in Mali, namely Sadiola and Yatela. I was responsible for design and construction of those. And then in 2002, Anglo American was changing, and I decided to leave Anglo. And I joined a small British junior company with projects in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, namely. I then spent the next 8-9 years of my life basically building gold projects in Uzbekistan and in Kyrgyzstan, mainly as the project manager, but then ultimately as general director of the operations in country. So I lived there for most of the sort of 7 or 8 years I was involved there. We had some tough times with 2 revolutions in Kyrgyzstan in that time and an expropriation in Uzbekistan, but we've all moved on from those times. Things are much different in Central Asia now than what it used to be. 2011, then I joined a company called Axmin, a Toronto-listed company with projects in a project in Central African Republic as chief operating officer. So I led the development of that project up to a point where we started some construction works, completed the most part of the feasibility study. We're raising money, and then unfortunately there was a revolution in the Central African Republic. So it became unfeasible to carry on with that project there then. So in 2014, I joined Silver Bear Resources as Chief Executive Officer, led the company transformed the company from what was a company managed by Forbes Manhattan into an independent company, moved the domicile to London, managed to raise the necessary funding and did the necessary studies and developed the team and developed the project. It was a very rich vein silver project in northeastern Russia. Very, very challenging location, very difficult climatic environment, but we got it built and operating within 4 years. Then in 2019, I joined Adriatic Metals in the UK, although it was Australian listed only at the time, as Chief Operating Officer again. We started as a very small company in a small office in Cheltenham in Western England, and grew the company into what it is now. It's just been sold to Dundee Precious Metals for $1.3 billion.
Okay.
So I was responsible for leading from the start with the scoping study, pre-feasibility study, feasibility into construction, and seeing it get into be the project it became, which was absolutely magnificent. So subsequently, I've joined Premier African Minerals. I was familiar with Premier African Minerals for several years. I've been following them. I was always interested in the variety of things they were looking at. I was keen to get involved and see where I could help to develop the company, into what I believe it can be. I know it's been struggling a bit with Zulu Lithium, and I'm here to try and overcome those problems and get it up and running. So it's a challenge. I like challenges. I've had challenges all my working career, and it's what keeps me going.
Good. So, I mean, in terms of, I don't know if you're going to come in and sort of change the structure, or what sort of leadership style you might bring to Prem. Do you have any plans on that?
Nothing immediate and shocking. I mean, the last thing this place needs right now is a big rocking of the boat. You know, we have an established team of people here. I'm just thinking about Zulu at the moment. I mean, Premier will come to Premier in a different way. I mean, Premier itself and management and the other team of Premier, it's not that massive. Big focus right now is here at Zulu. And I'm here to learn from the people who are here. I'm happy with the people who are here. I've got confidence in the people here. They've learned a lot over the years of working here at Premier and in their previous engagements. And I see all people here as individual leaders, and I want them to feel confident in their own abilities. And I tend to lead and work by growing people together as a team. You know, I see people working as a team. We're not working against each other. We're not fighting each other. We're here to learn from each other, to listen to each other, to share plans and ideas, and together grow the project. And in this case, make the project successful. You know, achieve what we set out to.
Okay, so the long-term vision then, from your point of view, is how would you set that out in a sentence or two?
Positive planning, really. You know, the most important thing right now, obviously, is Zulu to get it producing in consistent grade and get an improved recovery. That at the moment is going to be the path to cash flow, path to the future development of Zulu in particular. And there is significant potential here. We have a resource which is established, which is well known, which is good quality, but we also have significant upside on the resource here around Zulu. There's massive amounts of pegmatite, spodumene-rich pegmatites, which we can bring into Zulu Lithium. We have this opportunity with this secondary flotation plant to install that, which will help us increase production, which will help us to also improve the quality should we choose to. But we're targeting the 5.5% Li2O content, which we know we can achieve in the existing plant. So the secondary plant will enable us to grow it, generate cash flow. Now, I mean, Prem also has other opportunities. There's the RHA Tungsten, which, you know, there is some discussion taking place now about getting that back up and running. That could be a separate little project on the side, you know, as part of Prem, but it's part of the development of Prem. And then, of course, we have other potential projects in the pipeline as well. Not as well developed at this point in time, but there is opportunities, different things, rare earth metals, you know, this sort of other opportunities, manganese as well. So we've got a long-term plans, but right now, the short to medium term, let's get Zulu up and running, generating cash flow.
Well, so this is interesting, because is it fair to say then that perhaps Prem is not like a one-trick pony? The focus has all been on Zulu for the past, well, really, I think 4 to 5 years. But while you're talking now, is there other projects? But right now, the focus is get Zulu into production, get the cash flow coming in, I guess get that steady and looking after itself. And then Prem is going on to other projects.
Look, the primary target right now is get Zulu up and running. I'm actually going down to RHA Tungsten tomorrow for a couple of days. We're having a walk around, meeting a few people, seeing what needs doing. So that's in the back of our minds. We're aware of it. I mean, the team who worked here, the management team working here, they previously worked at RHA Tungsten. They're familiar with it. We're going down. Let's see what needs doing to get it up and running. Let's talk to the right people. So yeah, we've got lots of ideas, but the main focus right now has got to be on Zulu.
Okay, good. And you did say just a few questions ago that it's a bit of a challenge, but you like a challenge. So I'm wondering how much of a challenge it is, or how many things have got to be overcome. I don't know if you can give us an update on the current status on the ground at Zulu and immediate things that need to be done, ticked off to get it into production.
Well, after the last commissioning test runs we had late August, we had several meetings actually in South Africa with all the major OEMs all together in one room. So, right, we know what the issues are. How do we overcome these issues? So we sort of put our heads together. And again, it was this idea of working together as a team, sharing ideas, sharing thoughts. No one standing back and defending anything which other people might consider is not working right. We all know where we came up with a plan about where we want to go, what are the things we want to do, what are the modifications we believe we need to make. So over the last few weeks and currently ongoing now, there are some changes, some other modifications being implemented with the support of all the OEMs. And we're looking, to be starting the optimization runs sometime in the very near future when the time is right. There's a lot of things going into this. It's the logistics, it's the modifications, it's mobilizing equipment, mobilizing people. And when we know the time is right, we'll press the button and say, right, let's go for it. And it's coming. I'm not putting a date to it right now. I will do when we start. I'll tell people around the whole world we've started.
Excellent. Good. Well, just a couple of final questions. I know shareholders are really focused on one of the big ticket items, let's call it, which is, of course, that LOI, the situation with Canmax and Glencore. I don't know if you can say anything on that, because I know it's ongoing at the moment. I know Glencore said they were happy with what they'd seen, that it was a saleable grade. Can you give any information about what's going on while we wait for, I guess, the official RNS?
There will be an official announcement. Again, I'm not going to put a timetable to that right now. There have been some further discussions with interested parties. And, the primary thing, of course, is Zulu has to operate consistently at grade and improve recoveries. So we know that's step one. Step two, there are opportunities, and it's been discussed in terms of issues around, the way forward with with providing working capital into Zulu, with providing, alternatives in terms of Canmax. So there are some positive discussions have been taking place, and in due course there will be information made available at the right time.
Oh, good. So just finally then, Graham, just in terms of what perhaps shareholders can expect from Graham Hill. I think people knew George very well. They had sort of rapport with George. We are sort of starting afresh, me and you, of course, but also shareholders, of which there are a lot of dedicated and very interested shareholders. So they're also keen to know how you will approach investor relations, let's say, how approachable you will be, how much you can share in terms of pictures on social media, for example, or if you'd be happy to engage in email exchanges or indeed Q&As, for example, that did happen with George. So I wonder if you can give investors a bit of a sense of perhaps what they can expect from you, or what how they perhaps could approach you if they have a question.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I'm not a social media king, so don't expect me to start twittering and twerping, whatever it's called. I don't know. But we have our investor relations team, and they will certainly respond to social media calls. I do have one or two shareholders who indulge me on WhatsApp and things, which is fine. I don't mind, but obviously I'm very limited and people must understand this, guys. I'm very limited in what I can say. It's not in the public domain. It's not going to be out there on WhatsApp or on my emails or anything. So we've got to play things correctly in that regard. I'm very much available. I spent a lot of time with my previous companies, especially raising money and raising funds, touring the world and sitting in front of potential investors, brokers, and making presentations. I'm very happy to do that. I'm very happy to sit with, have a Q&A session on a regular basis, be it on a live basis. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with giving, let's say, regular updates through an RNS or just through a quick presentation. So I'm open. Obviously, I don't want to get inundated with 10,000 emails and WhatsApp requests and things like that. But we've got to be transparent to the shareholders. That's most important. We're not trying to pretend things are okay and they're not. That's not the case at all. We will sort of wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we'll be out there and open and honest. So I'm very happy to share whatever I can with the shareholders, whenever I can.
Good. Excellent. Well, Graham Hill, thank you very much for your time, the Managing Director of Premier African Minerals, and I look forward to speaking to you fairly regularly.
Thank you very much, Mark, and I look forward to that as well myself. And I'd just like to say my thanks to George Roach. I know he's gone on to retire, but I wish him well in all his future endeavours, because I don't think he'll retire.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.